Good evening, Surrey Eagles fans. Marton, play-by-play broadcaster, set to bring you another episode of the Telus pregame show. As tonight, the Surrey Eagles will look for their 11th win in a row and 15th overall in the 2021 pod season. Their opponent tonight is going to be the Powell River Kings. Surrey, coming off 10 straight wins, their last one a 5-2 victory over the Coquitlam Express. To improve to 10 wins in a row are in tough against the Powell River Kings team that has played them tough through the past week. The last two times that these two teams faced off, it was a 4-3 overtime win for Surrey and a 2-1 regulation win for Surrey. For the Powell River Kings, who come into this game 7-8-2 on the season, they are coming off two straight losses. The last one an 8-2 defeat at the hands of the Coquitlam Express, so they will be looking for redemption after sliding a little bit here at the tail end of the 2021 pod campaign. Your key players to watch for in tonight's contest, and for Surrey, we're going to go to the Minnesota State commit number 24, Christian Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald had 8 points in his last 4 games. He's got 16 power play points on the year to lead the BCHL, and he is tied for the league lead in scoring. He's got 28 points so far in just 16 games, 12 of those being goals. Look for him to continue to be a force this season. For the Powell River Kings, we're going to focus on the 16-year-old goaltender from Powell River, British Columbia, number 35, Nick Peters. Peters has stepped in admirably after Thomas Wardle went down with an injury earlier in the pod season for Powell River, and the young Kings netminder has shown up large. 6 games played, he's only 2-2 on the season. He's got an .888 save percentage. He will look to try and build off of his rookie season in the league. Your 3 keys to the game here for the Surrey Eagles as they look for win number 11 in a row. On the first key, the same as it's been in this win streak, is to stay within their structure. The Eagles have a ton of speed, they've got a ton of skill, and when they are able to keep themselves in their own game, they make it very tough for their opponents to figure out an answer and figure out a way to get past their forecheck. Your second key to the game is special teams. The Eagles' power play is the best in the BCHL. There's no secret about that. Christian Fitzgerald and Holden Catsley are 1-2 in power play scoring. They will look to continue to dominate so far through the 2021 pod season. And your final key to tonight's game, in Tommy we trust. Tommy Scarfoni will man the crease for Surrey again. He's only got 2 losses on the year. One of those is in the extra frame. Look for Scarfoni to continue to be fantastic as he is getting set to finish off his 20-year-old season in the BCHL. That'll do it here for the pregame summary brought to you by Telus. Outside the Scotia Barn, up next on the Telus pregame show is an interview with Eagles head coach Cam Keith as we talk about the development of this young team through the 2021 pod season. Don't go anywhere. That's coming up next on BCHL TV, powered by Hockey TV and Mixler.com/EaglesBCHL.
Marton, Eagles play-by-play broadcaster, pleased to be joined by Eagles head coach Cam Keith as the team gets set for their last 3 games in the 2021 pod season. And Cam, I want to thank you for doing this. And the first question I've got for you, we'll start with this team as a whole. It's been a development-focused season. How have you been impressed by the way that these rookies have been able to handle themselves so far through the slog of this campaign?
Yeah, I think that's the key word is rookies finding their game. Your Holden Cardinal, Tate Ross, Teodata Dorio, Max Prasma. As coaches, we're always curious about how they're going to react under duress, when things get physical, late in games, how they're going to respond. And we couldn't be more delighted with as how these kids have played in those different scenarios. As we've talked throughout this pod, we're winning a lot of games, but there's been a lot of situations that these kids have had to face adversity. And when you're looking and evaluating players that you're going to need in these situations next season and in playoffs, it's extremely important that they pass the test. And fortunate for us, they have. There's been a couple bumps here and there, but for the most part, they're all really good character kids, and they've flourished with our good veteran group, and it's just been a great blend.
We'll continue talking about these rookies here, and we'll take a little bit look at next season with this group. How much do you think that these kids have learned from this season in all of those situations that you've just mentioned to really propel this core moving forward next year?
Yeah, that's the importance of playing games. You can see with their passing and the improvement in these kids' shooting ability is the result from an extended practice season. But in order to really get all the cylinders firing, you need games, you need competition, and you need to have that kind of understanding of where you're at as far as where you need to be to play college hockey and contribute at the junior A level. So it's been a great experience for our young up and comers, the Holden Cardinal kids that we're going to need to lean on for the future of this program. To have that experience, to play half on the power play and watch guys like, Katsale and Santa Juana, how they operate and kind of mimic that. And then to watch some of these younger players like Cardinal and Abgerol kind of play at such a high pace, and then you kind of see the future of next year and you get excited. So it's been a really fun pod season for that, to see the benefits of the experience of playing for this program like Kieran O'Hearn and Katsale, but also see the future in Max Prasma and the Tater Tot boys, and then Tio Dadadorio's, his passion for the game. It's exciting, and we built a team for a championship this year, but I think we got a team that can win a championship next year. I truly do.
Well, we'll talk about the fact that you guys won what you can win in this pod season. You clinched top spot, and you did it again with two players that are 1 and 2 in league scoring, and Holden Katsale and Christian Fitzgerald. What's it been like having them on this team a year following a season where you had Christophe Tellier and Hudson Chandor in the top 5 in league scoring?
Well, that's the key to any team's success, is you have to have those two kids that are just almost unstoppable in a way. It really takes a lot of pressure off your secondary and third line types, where they can kind of generate offense because they're kind of so focused on stopping those two guys. As we saw last year with Tellier and Chandor in the playoffs, we had some kids that really rose up, like Fitzgerald, Carter King, Buddy Johnson, because they're so focused on trying to shut down Chandor and Tellier. But yeah, I mean, it's fun watching Katsale and Fitzy on the power play. Both can shoot pucks and moving it back and forth. Your poor little voice can't keep up with the movement, and that's what we want. We want you to struggle to find your voice because there's so many passes and so many different options, and that's the game plan, and the kids have been doing it, and that's the fun part of coaching for me and Brad this year, is we just kind of put out a game plan and they follow it, and then by the end of this pod, we're barely even having to say anything because it's just becoming second nature for these kids. They're coaching themselves, and then when you have your best players or your hardest working kids and they're following the game plan, we're basically cheerleaders on the bench, just tapping guys on the back and making sure their waters are filled up. So it's been a fun ride.
Well, it's been an absolute blast in the broadcast booth, and I appreciate the challenge that you guys have presented on the power play. Cam, thanks so much for doing this, and best of luck as you start the last 3 games of your pod season here tonight versus Powell River.
Thanks, Cole.